Hi, Jeffrey Levas.
Hi, hello, Hussein Ahmed.
Yes,
Good day.
yes, same here.
Yes, can you see me now?
I can hear.
That's
Okay,
good.
wait, please. Okay.
Everybody, good afternoon from Bangladesh.
Wonderful.
I can see technical team, just make a screen. I'd like to see our honorable speaker and guest now. So please make it convenient for all to see all together. I could see Caroline is here. Caroline. Hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I could see my friend Maria. Maria, are you here?
Yes, hello. Nice
Hello.
to see you.
Wow, Victoria is here. Wow, wonderful. Victoria, can you see me?
Hi everyone. Nice to see
Right.
everyone and greetings from Kiev.
Thank you. Salman, how are you? Jeffrey Lopes is here from Philippines. Adi, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
That's
listening.
great. Khalid Saifullah, Sharmeen Banani, Maiju is here from Finland. So, and there are so many other guests. You know, this is third day. This is third day of the 4th Days International Conference. This year, 4th WSWD 2021 International Conference, having the title of Strengthening Social Solidarity, Community Resilience, and Global Connectedness. Myself, social worker Habibur Rahman from Bangladesh, hosting this under the leadership of Community Social Work Practice and Development Foundation in association with the People's University of Bangladesh as academic partner, Jamuna Television as media partner, FM 90.4, ARCS IT as media partner, and there are so many other partners, both national and international. Press will just mention the name. I again welcome you all together. Today the session is supposed to be chaired by Honorable Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar Sharkar from Vishwabharati University, West Bengal. He just called me and he's coming half an hour. He's in another meeting in their departmental urgent meeting. That's why he referred me the session that you continue. I'm just coming and joining soon. So till he coming, today, as co-chair Pascal Rudin, Pascal hopefully will join. Pascal is the official of international affairs of UN relation from IFSW from Switzerland. Hopefully he will join soon. Co-chair, honorable session guest, Mr. M.D. Saiful. He is additional secretary, Ministry of Social Welfare, he is another meeting with UNDP on behalf of Bangladesh government. He might join, but he actually apologized to us, and we just rescheduling him in another day. Today's session guest organizing committee declared Caroline. Caroline, are you here?
Hello, thank you.
All right. So Caroline will be with us as session guest speaker. She will make some comments until Honorable Session Chair comes, and he allowed me to continue the session, just to chair the session as organizer. Actually, I didn't have any option to speak about the speakers. That's why he allowed me for half an hour till me coming and joining and chairing the session. Habib, you just continue on behalf of me. So let me declare and welcome our today's presenters. The first presenter is supposed to be, still I'm waiting for him, Mr. Pascal Rodin from Switzerland. Second speaker, Mr. Salman Suhail, Mr. MD Khalid Saifullah and Ahmed Ghalib. Third speaker, Mr. Robin Jayaraj. Fourth, Victoria from Ukraine. Fifth, our friend Dr. Kolotsova Maria from Russian Union of Social Worker. She's the Vice President. Then Jamal Ali Ahmed. You know, this time, and the seventh speaker from Philippines, Mr. Adi Gonzalez Pinjan. Actually, you know, during this pandemic, yesterday, Bangladesh, the whole country was taken under lockdown. Today, we are facing this crisis even from every corner. Yesterday, there is a thunderstorm and windy air, stormy weather. Network connection around the country was very, very poor that way. So again, I'm welcoming you, and I'd like to go directly to our first speaker. Just now, the first speaker. As first speaker, I would like to request Mr. Salman Suhail and his co-author. Hope they will come and join together to present their wonderful presentation. So far. Salman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Salman from the School of Public Administration, Hua University, China. Now, my presentation topic, the slum education, the impact of COVID-19 on slum education. Now I'm open my slide. Okay, thank you. My another team member, MD Khalid Saifullah, under the Migration and Refugee Research Division, Center for Advanced Social Research, Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Ahmed Ghalib, same department, same division, Center for Advanced Social Research Division, Dhaka, Bangladesh. My topic, impact on education in slum. Actually, the COVID-19 impact on education. We will assess, we will share our views and feelings. And now, first of all, I'm presenting the education. Coronavirus has newly emerged and active disease globally over the last year. You know already, which is being interrupted by all types of activities immensely. The virus was first identified in Wuhan, Hubei, China, where I am residing. It is the nearest from my location, from China. However, this was the 6th time declared crisis moment in the entire history. However, after reviewing the literature on this particular topic, we found no research has been yet done on the vulnerable slum migrant children education. This study intends to fill some of this gap by assessing educational experience induced COVID-19 lockdown on the slum migrants in Bangladesh. This study, we believe, this study is very significant for developing countries like Bangladesh because it plays massive role in uncovering the internal living scenario of slum migrants and their vulnerabilities during the COVID-19 lockdown. However, method and materials, we carried out 17 interview and 3 FGDs and 9 months of our participation observation to achieve the study objective. The 4 stages of interpretative phenomenological data analysis were used a thematic approach. This study was conducted in the slum of the capital city of Dhaka, Bangladesh. Actually, this study has been done by qualitative approach, purely qualitative approach. We analyzed the data and found 5 key themes from our study. First thing, failure to access online education. Barrier online education, unable to buy mobile data, increased child marriage, and promotion child labor. Failure to edge, we conducted this is the slum, and slum have poor access online education because almost slum dwellers are illiterate and no formal education. So this they fail to online, their children fail to online education. When we discuss when we conduct our semi-structured interview with the slum dwellers, with the parents, they said the main failure, the main problem was that the poor access to online education. Actually, most countries have resumed academic activities from the online education platform, but Bangladesh Islam education experiences very pathetic scenario because of the majority Islam migrants belonging to the extreme poverty line, and so it is challenging to continue online education for their children. Actually, from the Bangladeshi perspective, it's actually very tough to continue online education. And they say they are unprepared. One of our participants said, I find that same direct quotation here. We are day laborers. We eat day by day. We have a button. We have a button phone. That means simple phone. But I heard that with this phone I cannot be able to join online education. But in this lockdown, I cannot eat properly for 3 times all the day. How can I buy a highly expensive smartphone for my son? That's why my son failed to access to online education. It is the direct quotation from our participant, from the slum. A barrier online education. In recent years, technology has evolved a lot, but there are still some problems with changing the traditional form of virtual education. And cost and infrastructure, another issue, because the technological issue is not strong enough yet. Essentially, virtual learning systems are not widespread in Bangladesh. As I explained, actually, from our slum perspective, we will told directly that online education is a very tough and challenging from in slum. However, my rest of the slide will continue. MD Khaled Saifullah from the Migration and Refugee Research Division, Center for Advanced Social Research, Dhaka, Bangladesh. I'm requesting to continue Khaled Saifullah, all of the rest of the slides.
Thank you and good evening. And now I am sharing the due part of our paper. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Barrier online education. In recent years, technology has evolved a lot, but there are still some problems with changing the traditional form of virtual education. Cost and infrastructures are another issue because the technology isn't strong enough yet. Essentially, virtual learning systems are not widespread in Bangladesh. Home study in itself is more difficult than teacher assisted education because there is no guidance or feedback from experienced instructor, as explained by a 4 years old female girl. Sorry.
खाली तुम्हार ये slide please
Actually, I can't share my slide.
okay I'm okay okay what's happening.
Okay, is it okay?
Okay.
Hello.
Keep it up.
Okay. Yes.
হ্যাঁ ভাই শান্ত
One of my respondents said, I am directly quoted that when I study with math and English, sorry, math and English, many questions arise in my mind, but either can solve it or I can call my teacher for their problems. However, if my school was open, then I could tell my teacher about my problems and he would help me to solve them. And similar reports we got, another respondent explained, the ones who are rich, only they can properly afford these classes. For example, I am not confident or sure about my son if he can always attend this online class because it is costly. Uh, when our research was interviewed, his son from the site said, it's okay for me to join the online class. But when sir starts lecturing, I want to use Facebook or watching movie on YouTube because our teacher can't able to see me. Rather, me was busy to take class. He said with gigglingly. This is the most challenging to online class. And the another variable unable to buy mobile data. No school, college, or government took any initiative to ensure mobile data for the students, but the poverty is severe in slum and their income was decreased during this pandemic. It's difficult to survive to take 3 times food in where by mobile data to ensure online class for their child is like a dream. We found from a respondent, he said, my daughter asks for Taka 100 to buy mobile data to take part in online class. But I didn't have any money in my hand because I didn't have any income that day. Another father of class 8 school-going girl was said, the participate online class requires 100 to 150 taka every 2 or 3 days, which is equal to the price of 4 kg of rice. So tell me, will I buy mobile data or will I survive for 2 days with 4 kg of rice? And increased child marriage. An unspoken and damaging effect of pandemic is spike in child marriage globally. The rate of child marriage in Bangladesh is an alarming rise as girls are mostly staying home owing to the closure of educational institutions during the COVID-19 pandemic. The economic strain caused by the recessions on already vulnerable communities and the loss of family income is additionally forcing families to many of their young girls, perceiving them as financial burdens rather than potential ways A daily laborer said, there is no benefit in educating the girls. Today or tomorrow, the girl will have to get married. Now is the right time to get married because school is closed, there is no study, it would not be right to stay at home. So I married my daughter. And similar reports we got said from 4 respondents. They said it is very expensive to marry a daughter addressing as a father. But coronavirus makes me a chance. There is no need a big cost in marriage in this pandemic situation because now the police will stop you from getting married. So I took this opportunity to marry my daughter, and now I am totally free from worries. Said it in joyous mode, and promotion of child labor. As the educational effect of the pandemic are prolonged and the absence from school is extended, it is possible that not all the enrolled adolescents will return to school or college. Those children belong in school, not workplace, but parents are forced to involve any financial activities their children to get rid of poverty. During this pandemic, this scenario was severe in slum in Dhaka city. When we asked a father, why did you drop out your children from education? They said, my earnings for coronavirus have dropped dramatically. In this situation, the family can never survive on the income of only one member of the family. So I have been joined my son in a factory for financial support. And similar information gave from a respondent. I have a tea shop. A man is needed to marry the tea to the customer. Since the school is closed and he doesn't study at home at all, so I take the boy with me to assist my work. And another respondent said, a fruit seller on the street from Coral Slum shared adolescents don't have studies right now. What else they can do? I asked them to find a job to support the family financially. So they did that. I don't think they will come back to school. Maybe this is the end of their educations. And conclusions. COVID-19 pandemic has devastatingly undermined the people's way of life globally, particularly those living in developing countries like Bangladesh. In addition, this pandemic has had a more severe and discriminatory effect on slum migrants' children education in Dhaka city of Bangladesh. Thank you. Thank you so much. So hear me.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation from Mr. Salman, Khalid Saifullah, and Galib Andalev. Dear audience, dear speakers and participants and listeners around the world, we're very honored to have with us today our closing guest. And, she is Honorable President of Russian Federation of Russian Union of Social Worker, Dr. Antonina Daskina. Actually, she is our honorable closing guest, but we are very, very honored and delighted to have you here, Dr. Antonina Daskina.
Would you like me to speak?
I will invite you to speak, and you will be with us as chief session speaker, okay?
Yes.
Today we'll have 2 more minutes to speak after a presentation, and we could see Mr. Jamal Ali Ahmed from Nigeria. How are you, sir? Jamal? You are muted, sir, right?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Good day.
Good, we can hear you. Thank you. Be with us and we'll go for your presentation. And we have Sayeda Ananda Rahman from Work for a Better Bangladesh Trust. She is here. We're very honored. She is program head. And our next presenter, as per schedule, our presenter, Mr. Robin Jayaras, is coming soon. But after that, Victoria and Dr. Maria. So Victoria, are you listening
Yes.
to me?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
of course. So
As this is your turn, but Dr.
Okay.
Maria has an official appointment. So can I have the opportunity to call Dr. Maria before your name just to complete her presentation?
absolutely, absolutely.
That's great, my
Very
friend.
much,
Thank you.
Victoria.
Thank you. Thank you. So now Dr. Kolotsova Maria, Vice President of Russian Union of Social Worker and Social Pedagogists. She will speak on collaboration of government and NGOs in elderly people support, Russian experiences. I would request delightedly to Dr. Maria. So are you here, Dr. Maria?
Yes.
All right, please continue your presentation.
Так, 1 second. Do you see my presentation? No, no.
Not yet, Maria.
Is it now?
It's come. Yeah, it's okay. It's now on. That's good.
Okay. Today I am going to speak from behalf of Russian Federation of Social Workers and Social Pedagogues, and my subject will be about how in Russia we support elderly people. Especially during pandemic, our elderly people are in a very difficult position. As many of you, as all of us know, they stayed in residential houses for a long time, and they have no chance to see volunteers, to see their relatives, and resources of government were not enough to support every elderly person. So I would like to speak how we joined our knowledge of government, of volunteers, and independent specialists to support our elderly people. There are 1,500,000 residential homes for elderly people in Russia. And so a lot of people live there, and every person needs support, and every person needs special care. But there are no enough staff to work with this kind of people, because for 30 elderly people, there is only one social worker and person who take care of them. We of course understand that elderly people without money, without very good health, with no friends and relatives, feel very lonely, and they need a lot of support. And we thought in Russia how we can do their life better, and what can we do together to support them. So, and we now organize special techniques so that every elderly person can use them. So we think that we can present them a moments of happiness, because elderly people have not very long memory, and they need to have a lot of nice moments during their day. So how we can organize this? We in Russia, we provide a special art boxes and materials to social workers so that they can organize very easy, very nice classes, art classes for elderly people. You can see a lot of materials in these pictures. Our volunteers speak with different people who have some materials. For example, we can see here a natural materials. They are taken by kids, and we brought it into this box. Also, some fabric have extra thing which they don't need anymore. So we can use all materials and think how we can organize a special class for our clients. Because elderly people need support of psychologists, pedagogists, volunteers.
শুনলাম কি জানেন ওই ড্রাইভারের ভাই একজন পুলিশে পিটকা মেরে
It's a noise.
Excuse me, someone
Yes,
is
yes,
talking. Please mute your microphone.
Because elderly people need to work with a lot of specialists, and you know that Russia is very big country, and there are a lot of villages which is very far from the cities, and it's very difficult to qualified psychologists or qualified pedagogues to come there. In some villages, there is no even very good shop with materials. So because of this, it is a very nice idea that elderly people can work with psychologists, with art therapists, and organize a group work. So in every lesson, we provide to elderly people special classes of psychologists. We train their brain, their memory, and their cognitive functions, and qualified specialists, psychologists organize these classes. Also, we provide art therapy work, and we try organize different materials, because elderly people, they became boring to do one thing. We think that it will be interesting to make every time it will be a different class. And also for elderly people, it's very good to have a group work, because in the residential house, they sometimes angry with each other. They sometimes are not living they're not very friendly to each other. So it's very good to meet all them together and make games, for example, like memory games. Let's think, let's memorize how we studied at school, or what kind of products we eat, what was your favorite food when you were young or a child. Okay, this is maybe you will be interesting to see our residential people, and you can see they are doing one of the class, because I told you that it's only one pedagogue, one social worker for about 30 clients. When she takes this box, it's very easy just to put them together and give all materials, read a paper with description how to organize this master class, and she doesn't need to be very qualified, because you know, it's very difficult to organize a lesson. It's takes quite a lot of time. So we want to save a time of social workers and carers, so they don't they spend this time with clients. This is how it looks, our art box, we call this, and it's the main idea also that sometimes in residential house we organize concerts like cinemas, volunteers come, but some people can't join it because they stayed in their beds. They can't, we can't move it because, for example, it can be free floors, and the social workers can't bring all the clients to the first floor, and in villages there is no special lift, so this kind of clients can stay alone for a long time. And for this kind of clients, this is very interesting because social worker can come and provide very, very nice and quick lesson for them. But you know that elderly people, they became bored, as I said already, and they don't want to do something for themselves. That is why we organize children, so that children bring them letters, they bring them they bring them pictures, presents, and when elderly people received letters from children, they can do something back to them. So in these pictures, you can see very small children, and we who make presents for elderly people. And it's also very important that we provide lessons of kindness to our children, so they think that life can be very difficult and they can do something to improve life, even elderly person who live very, very far. Not only very young children, but we encourage teenagers, volunteers who can do something more serious, for example, for cognitive some tests they can do, or game with elderly person. And because volunteers during pandemic couldn't visit elderly people, they because usually in Russia there are a lot of volunteers who come to elderly people. They sing the songs, they provide concerts, they bring presents, bring some nice food. But during the pandemic, it was not possible. So that is why it's very useful for this kind of period, like all of us had. And this is also, you can see our elderly people who can't move, but they still can take a pencil or take different materials. For example, the lady, you can see she is holding a red ball, which make your fingers work better. So she has more sensitivity. No, this is also some pictures. And these ladies give best wishes to you and best regards to you at all, because they know that we will take part in this conference. It's also interesting that men men, they don't like to do this craft, you know. It's only women who like knitting, who like sewing, but men, they like to do something more practical. So that's why we, our art boxes is, there are several kinds of art boxes we provide. We provide specially for men. We provide specially for disabled people who don't see, who can't see, and with people who can't carry very, they're very weak, for very weak people. So, and we adaptate these materials for them. This is also one of the arts they can do. And this is one of Our Lady. So this is why the main idea of my speech is that if we think how to organize a better life for our clients, we can think, we can invite volunteers, and a lot of volunteers will be very happy to help you to do something small but very important for this kind of people. We can, social workers can organize some, to provide some materials from fabric, from maybe somebody don't need some materials, so we can think and or prepare art class for them. So, and also social workers have to work with government so that government understand that it's very important job to organize better life, interesting life for our elderly people, for our clients. This is just some ideas which can not cost a lot. For example, you can, this is in this picture, you can see it's plastic, but it can be made from paper, and you can do very interesting things. And it is very good for the mood of elderly people. First of all, they think, oh, it's too like childish, we don't want to do this. But when they start, they are waiting for these classes. In this picture, is the lady is very, very weak. She can't take pencil, for example. For this kind of clients, we use special. It is like on a glue. She can put it and send a letter to volunteers who send letter to them. So it's also one of their clients with the same. As I said already, the men are different kind of clients. They also like to do something what men like to do. Another interesting idea is in previous conversation, our colleague said that not every children have a computer, for example, so to make a distance education. But also one of the idea in Russia, we have one very big TV set, and volunteers can sing songs through this computer, and elderly people can be invited, and they can see master class, and they can see a lesson through the one TV set. So this is one of our person have a New Year greeting. So I think this is all what I wanted to say, and I think that even if you don't have enough resources, even if you don't have enough volunteers, or your residential house is very far, we social workers have to think and be very creative to organize something which will make lives better, especially for our elderly people. They only need our smile. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Maria, for wonderful elaboration. And we could learn so many things, really, in regards to elderly people care and government, on behalf of government care. So many things are there. Hopefully, we could learn more. And after visiting South Korea, just to have some idea on elderly people, today after this presentation, actually, I'm already started thinking to visit that area, the project in Russia, Dr. Maria. So hope to see you soon after this. And we are very delighted to have our honorable session chair, Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar Sarkar. Ashok da, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Habibur. Sorry
How are
for
you?
late.
No worry. I was just giving proxy. So let me introduce. In the meantime, actually, Dr. Maria from Russian Federation, she's Vice President. She completed her presentation. And our second speaker, Mr. M.D. Salman Suel and his co-authors, they have presented a paper. So this is over, and we'll take some questions after this. And in the meantime, I just invited from Australia, Caroline mentioned as session guest. And we have our chief session speaker today, honor session speaker, Dr. Antonina Daskina from Russian, she is president of Russian Union of Social Workers. She will speak a few words after the session, actually. Is it, Dr. Antonina? Can you hear me? Okay, she will join. And this is the turn of Victoria, serial number 5, Victoria Specano. She's author, trainer, and coach. Ukraine. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, let me introduce honorable session chair. Then I'm being off, just handing over to Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar Sarkar. He is currently chair of the Department of Social Work, Vishwabharati University, West Bengal, India. Not only that, he was in chairing as the dean, principal of faculty, vice chancellor in chairs. Actually, Ashokda he is a pure academician in Asian context. So, Ashokda, we are very honored to have you here, and I'm handing over the session to you. This is after you will just continue the session, inviting Victoria. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Habibur. May I know how many speakers so far have completed the presentations? Hello.
Ashokda.
Yes, Habibur, may I know how many presentations you have completed so far?
Yeah, two is over. So just now you will call Victoria, serial number 5, then 7, Jamal Ali Ahmed, then R.D. Pinjan. So each will get 8 minutes so far.
So each one is getting 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And now Victoria is going to make the presentation. Yes, Victoria, please.
All right. 8 to 10. Victoria, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm very sorry. I was knocked out from the internet somehow. I don't know how it happened, but I'm back now, hopefully for the rest of the time. Sorry for that. Is it my time for the presentation or?
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, great. Thank you. So can I share the screen now?
Please.
Okay. My dear friend, can you give me access to share the screen? Because you have disabled my screen sharing.
Yeah,
Yes,
we already did that. Please continue.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it started. We can see you.
Yeah. Just a second. Just 1 second only. Okay, can you see it now? Okay.
Yes,
So,
please.
yeah, thank you very much for being patient with me and and I would like to thank the previous speakers for their great presentations. I would like to bridge my presentation to the previous one because Maria was speaking about how to make better life for their people in need. I would like to speak today about how to make a better conversation with our clients. So, and as you can see, the presentation is called Compassion, Empathy, and What Else? Actually, I think that social workers are expected to demonstrate and to feel compassion and empathy. And it is well justified because people we serve are in need of those behaviors. The only question is actually if it is enough and whether we should stop there. So that's what I would like to discuss today. I will start probably from the idea that all of us have got problems, but the people we have been working with, they've got bigger problems than we probably. That's why we have been working with them. So when they come to us and they say they report their problems, we think that if we demonstrate our understanding of their problems and if we would sympathize them with their problems, maybe we can help our clients to feel better. And yeah, so this is another question. So if they would feel better when we sympathize with their problems, so maybe it will help them. And it is not necessarily that we are helping them out. That's what I would like to discuss with you today. Why is it so? Because being compassionate and being empathetic, we are trying to, many social workers are trying to either give a good advice to our clients. And if we give a good advice, we ask ourselves sometimes if it was a useful advice and if it was a helpful advice. Advice is a good thing, of course, but when I was thinking about us giving advices to other people, I also questioned myself, if I'm giving advice to someone, do I really believe and do I really trust that those people are able to cope with their own problems? And my answer was, in many cases, not really, because otherwise I would not give my advices. I would just let those people sort out their problems themselves. Another thing is that when our clients report their problems to us, we say, okay, let's discuss your problem. And we try to discuss those problems in more and more details. And you know, all of you, you know the set of questions we are asking our clients when we discuss their problems. I think that if I would ask you to write down those questions, you would probably come up with this set of questions. So we discuss their problems in details, and we ask them how actually big is the problem, and what's going wrong, and how did it happen? And finally, we're trying to understand how we should fix the problem. Now, if you look at this set of questions, which many of us are used to, Could you please mute yourself? I feel like I'm in the middle of this busy street somewhere in, I don't know.
কেউ একজন কথা বলছেন বোধহয়, মাইক্রোফোন মিউট করে দেন প্লিজ। Please mute your microphone.
I think, yeah,
okay.
you can mute this microphone also. It's okay. It's okay. So I have just said that this is a usual set of questions we ask when we discuss problems with our clients. Yeah, you would probably agree with me. And we solution-focused practitioners, we call this discussion a problem talk. And you ask, okay, so why it is a problem talk? We just discuss a problem because we'd like to find a solution, yeah? But the answer is actually, we call that the problem talk because we discuss what is wrong and what should be fixed. And if you ask how this discussion would influence those people we have been working with, then probably while we are discussing their problem is growing, because the more energy we invest into the problem, the more time we invest into the discussing the problem, the bigger is the problem. Yeah. So the person would ask, actually, if the problem is so big, am I able to solve this problem? Or am I capable of solving this problem? And if it is a big problem, and if I'm not really able and capable of solving this problem, then is it worth trying? And this leads to demotivation and to frustration. And sometimes people we have been working with, so they victimize themselves even more. So what is the alternative? What is an alternative actually to this kind of conversations? I would invite you to examine the solution-focused approach. And especially that's a solution-focused approach. Some of you might know about this approach. Some of you probably have not heard about this before. But the solution-focused approach, which was developed from the 1917s of the last century, it's rooted actually in the social work. It was developed as a means of support of those people who needed to solve their problems faster. So I'm very happy then to bring this approach back to the social work at the moment, because I think this is where it started, and I hope it will be developing there. So how different is the conversation with the solution-focused approach from the one which we have just discussed? I mean, how different is the solution talk from a problem talk? I will come up to the comparison a little bit later, but at the moment I will just say some things which are very, very simple things. And you know, there was a Ukrainian philosopher of the 17th century who used to say that all simple things are usually useful and those complicated are not. And probably this is something also about the solution-focused approach and the solution talk, because it looks simple, but it is a very powerful tool. So first of all, I would say that we would all agree that our clients are resourceful enough, and they are resourceful also to solve their own problems. So our role is just to support this resourcefulness and to empower them so that they could feel differently and able and capable of solving their own problems. So in which way and how we could do that? Now I would like to share with you an idea of a single powerful question. If in a problem talk we discuss what's the problem and what goes wrong, and we detailize the problem, so actually what we have been doing, we have been examining what is not working or what is not working well. With the solution talk, our focus of attention is on something which is still working and on something which is useful in this situation. If we take questions and compare them, for instance, so the problem talk would be, tell me, describe me the situation, what goes wrong, and detailize me what has been going wrong with you. While with the solution talk, we ask people a different question or different sets of questions. If we think that our clients are resourceful enough, then probably after them telling us all their problems, we could bridge our dialogue, asking them, yes, what I see, the situation is not very fortunate for you at this moment, but still you cope. Tell me, how do you cope? How do you manage this situation? And this is, as you can see, a different kind of question. So the question, how do you cope, is not about what goes wrong, but what is still working in this difficult situation for you. So my rhetorical question for you would be, actually, if we start our conversation or if we bridge our problem discussion to the solution discussion with this only question, so what difference this only question would make? And yes, this is a rhetorical question on one hand, because we understand that asking the question, how do you still cope? We offer our clients to refocus their attention and to think about themselves and about their good qualities and about their resources, and about ability to manage difficult situations in life, and we definitely would empower them for their preferred future. Just to give you an idea of some other solution-focused vocabulary, for instance, instead of the questions, what is not working, we could ask them what is still working or what is already working well. Instead of the questions, what is missing for you, we can ask a different question, what is already in place for you to solve your problem and to have the future you would like to, you prefer. Instead of the questions, where do you fail, what you can't do, we can ask them better questions. For instance, how do you manage, or how can you do that? So as you have seen now, that in the solution-focused conversation, in a solution talk, we use better questions. Why I think that these questions are better? Because instead of wasting our time and growing the problem, we're trying to use our time to change the situation for better, and we start to co-construct the situation immediately when we're talking with our clients. So as a result, our client thinks that the problem is not as difficult as it seemed to be before our conversation with them. And they become a little bit curious that the situation could be different, and they ask themselves, okay, so the situation can be different. So in which way it could be different? What could change in my life, and what benefits would it bring? They would probably think that they are capable and able to manage the situation, and it leads to their empowerment and motivation. Now, one of the final slides I have prepared for you is the comparison of the problem talk and the solution talk. And as you go through the lines, you see that the focus of attention is absolutely different. In the problem talk, we analyze the past. And we discuss what was wrong, why it happens, or why it is happening to you, what's wrong with you, how should we fix it, etc. In the solution talk, our focus of attention is actually the preferred future. And the focus is on the ability and capability of our clients to handle everything in their lives. So we ask different set of questions. We ask, how do you cope, and what is still working for you, and what experience from your past could be useful for you, and how do you create, so what is your best hope for your future? So now you see that these are two different talks with absolutely different energies and different investments, different results and outcomes. Basically, with the solution talk, we turn our discussion about unwanted situation into a discussion of the wanted changes. And when you discuss the wanted changes, you start to make them happen. So every time when we talk with our clients, whenever they are, so I think it is very important for us to ask ourselves this good question. Before I start talking to this person, do I want to grow his or her problem, or do I want to nourish their solutions? Because for these two conversations, you need different set of questions, different approaches. And so it would be nice actually if you decide, so what kind of conversation you would like to have with your clients. Finally, as one of the co-developers of the solution-focused approach, Steve DeShazer used to say, problem talk creates problems, solution talk creates solutions. I do hope that talking to our clients every time we create solutions and not problems. And I know that there will be no session for questions, but if you would like to ask questions or discuss that, I would, of course, provide this presentation to the organizers. You will see my address there. And if you would like to contact and to ask a question or to discuss it, I would be very happy to do so. Now I would stop sharing the screen, and this is the end of the presentation. Hope it was useful. If I would see any reaction, if it was useful for you, then I would be happy. Thank you. My dear friend.
Thank you.
Professor Habibur. Okay, thanks.
That's great. Victoria, wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I request session chair, Professor
Yes.
Dr. Ashok Kumar Sharkar. You can please call the next participant.
Yes,
presenter.
yes.
Mr. Jamal Ali Ahmed.
Next one is just 1 minute.
Jamal Ali Ahmed, Senior Lecturer, Department of Social Development.
Yes, Jamal Ali Ahmed, please. He is around. Is he around? Not audible. Habibur, you are not audible.
Ashok Jamal was there. I saw him and also reported me, but somehow might be network problem. He dropped.
Oh.
So we can move another participant, speaker, Mr. Ardip Gonzalez Pinja now. I think the next page.
Okay.
Then we can come back again if we can join.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Wait. Micro HD. I think I have switch to okay. I'm fixing my camera. I'm sorry. Okay.
Pinyan, are you here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm
So Pinyan is from Western Philippines University. And your topic is role of women in fishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Please go ahead with your presentation.
Okay. Please allow me to screen share.
Yes.
So, okay. Thank you. All right. So, good evening. I guess this is evening in your country or afternoon already. So we have a time difference actually. So, all right. My topic is all about role of women in fishing and seaweeds farming. In Porok 6 Green Island, Rojas, Barangay Tumarbong, Rojas, Palawan. So my co-author, I have Dr. Montaño and Miss De La Peña, Erica. So can I close my, can I off my camera? So I'm very shy to, to discuss online. All right. So Okay, I think. So here's my. I'm struggling with my laptop. Hello. I think it's a problem with my laptop.
Yes, Pinjon, carry on.
Okay. Okay. So this is my abstract. This paper figures what women do before, during, and after in fishing and seaweed farming. It highlights men and women's views towards their understanding of their expected role in the fisheries sector. This study was conducted in Green Island, Barangay Tumarong, Rojas, Palawan, where fishing and seaweed farming are primary source of living. This study is a descriptive method and implies purposive and convenient sampling. In this study, there are gender issues emphasized in social and economic aspects, particularly in their livelihood, such as division of labor, gender biases, basic rights of women, and traditional context of gender roles. The data revealed that the role of women in fishing and seaweed farming um, is highlighted in domestic responsibilities. The masculinity industry perspective limits the women participation in this kind of source of living. Generally, the culture of conservatism among the participants is still remarkable in their actions and practices of household management. This recommends that there's a need to strengthen gender mainstreaming by conducting more research on Filipino women's participation and contribution in fisheries. It will also impact the lives of Filipino women to highlight their visibility in fishing and seaweed farming by improving and advancing their competencies in terms of knowledge, skills, and capacity to engage in several aspects of fishers' livelihood. Furthermore, it cheers women to meet security, protection, empowerment from all forms of threats in fisheries and livelihood. So, um, fishing and fishing and seaweed farming is important for for small scale farmers, especially those who live in remote areas with few economic alternatives. According to the Center for Sustainability Incorporation, in Puerto Princesa City, Palawan, 60% of the population settle in a coastal barangays. So one of the islands that thrive in the aquaculture sector is the Green Island. So this is the Green Island actually, located in Rojas, Palawan. So it is well known to produce only top quality seaweeds. That is Allen Datud Erasa Mahmood 2015. Although the aquaculture sector is considered a male domain, the role of women in this sector is still crucial. The role of women in fishing and seaweed farming has often been partly ignored because there is a social cultural taboo against considering the nature of work. That's Lomba 2013. To design and implement growth strategies and development planning for small-scale farmers in remote areas, an overview of the unique and shared characteristic of the respondents in the community should be identified. Socioeconomic opportunities for community can also be provided by understanding the gender dimension in terms of labor and access and control over resources and benefits. So the objective of the study, I have two here. So determine the socio-economic profile of the fisherman and seaweeds farmer in Porok 6, Green Island, Barangay Tumarbong, Rojas, Palawan. Number two is examine the gender participation and give in the given population in terms of roles and activities in fishing, seaweeds farming, and access control over resources and benefits. So this is the methods. So material and method. We use descriptive research design. Data gathering was conducted on site between October 2018 to March 25, 2019. So purposive, sorry for the close open parenthesis. And then we also employ purposive and convenient sampling. So, okay. So the results and discussion. All right. So this is our the social demographic, um, the social demographic profile of the respondents. All right. So for the age group, as you can see here, we have the age group here. Where is the age group? Okay, here's the age group. So more than half of the respondents belong to the younger age group, which is 18 to 39 years old. According to Zain, the knowledge of the structure of the respondent is important in estimating the potential productive human resources in the area. So educational level, um, for Green Island, so the education would be not so significant among the respondents because they might be prioritize their livelihood. The location of the island, um, which is very remote, area, or the impoverished condition experienced by the respondents. Although the data revealed that seaweeds or fishers in the Green Island are majority educated, this is also reflected to Mateo et al. 2001 study. Based on Bendakar et al. 2017, the literacy and education level of fishermen affects the knowledge level and skills development. Besides, education is considered one of the factors and cultural factors affecting fish farming. For monthly income and source of income. So basically, the primary source of income in the island is seaweeds and seaweeds farming and fishing. So since the location of the study is a remote area, so the potential source of income, aside from that, fishing and seaweeds farming, it also the potential source of income is sari-sari store. So the lack of opportunity for livelihood innovation limits the increasing the income of the respondents. Income is highly correlated to almost all the indicators of well-being and determines the standard of living, Bendakar et al. 2017. According to the 2015 Family and Income Expenditure conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority, this income range below to official poverty um, line estimated for a family size of 5 members. So let's proceed to the labor and gender participation in seaweeds farming. As you can see here, yeah, I took this photo when I was in the island. So women, sorry, in this study, women primarily sourcing out the capital for the seaweeds farming, wherein the majority were loaned from the buyer, and some are loaning from a registered credit institution. The procurement of raw materials is performed by both sexes. Contrary to the study of Lal and Yer Bikila 2010, women play an important role in seaweeds farming because it lies in the quality of planting material on women before the seaweeds will be planted. So the identification of the area for seaweeds planting and line preparation were male-dominated activities. On the other hand, the data revealed a significant number of women were also participating during the identification of the area for seaweeds farming and the preparation of lines for the seaweeds. As observed, since most of the preparation of seaweeds farming materials are home-based, children also help prepare lines. So that is congruent to the LAL study, 2010. At home, and tying seedlings to the ropes with women, and also considered as a family work or a family venture because of the involvement of the entire family. According to Masuya and Hortanda 2017, most people involved with seaweeds farming are women in most developing countries, which is, you can see here. So likely in the Philippines, there are more women who work in seaweeds farm in Philippines. It is because women mostly occupy the tying of the long lines. However, just like the traditional views on gender roles, women perceive are only helping her husband on the farm for the family business, or see it as a part of her role as a wife and mother. That's Woodman 1991 as cited by Heritage and GAF 2018. During planting, so during planting, um, actual planting were mainly male dominated. You can see here. So this includes the planting of seaweeds, daily maintenance, harvest of shrubs in green islands. Seaweeds farming became primary subsistence for the survival of the family. Instead of hiring laborers during their planting activities and harvest, the respondents utilizing their family members to be involved in planting seaweeds in the farms. In this aspect, the contribution of women was treated as silent. Women are highlighted in domestic chores, like preparing food for the laborers. As observed in the study location, women have significant participation in all planting activities together with the hired laborers, their husband and children. As mentioned, the pre-planting activities that considered as a family business and a family work, even in the study of LAL 2010, says that at the farm that women, children, and men also attach the seaweed planting material to the prepared lines before they are stretched out underwater. But then, men and women, both female, were considered supporting their husband in the seaweeds farm. So during the post-harvest, um, it's just like the contribution of women, just like her contribution during the pre-planting. This is our photo that I took in the island during the post-harvest. So in the post-harvest, activities were mostly female-dominated. This includes financial recording or budgeting, recording keeping of house expenses. This characteristic had been discussed in the study of Lucia in her 2017 also. According to men, women are more patient when involved, all of which required considerable effort and time, such as in financial recording or budgeting, record keeping, household expenses, including pre-planting. So activities up to last stage of post-harvest, activities like drying, packing, and selling. So women are very involved. So although in Green Island, both men and women take part in sun drying and selling the seaweeds, the packing of the seaweeds for selling to traders or buyers or in the market was male-dominated activity. On the other hand, despite of women didn't consider their contribution in terms of packing and selling, as observed, it is notable that there are significant participation among women in assisting and helping their husbands or partners during the packing and selling of the seaweeds. So actually, they cannot all both sexes in the island. They cannot really fully recognize the the significant participation of women in this aspect. So let's go to the fishing. So the pre-fishing actually. So this labor and gender participation in fishing activities are some yes, it's summarized here in this table. So the pre-fishing activities are procurement of raw materials for fishing, food packing, fish net, and fish net making, fish net repairs. So as you can see here, there's a woman here. Actually, mostly of the women in the island doing this thing, but they cannot recognize themselves as one. They cannot recognize their participation in this aspect. Actually, they keep on projecting their participation on men. So that that's one of the one of my observation, one of our observation in the island. So as you can see here, they projected it's all male dominated, but then women have significant participation in this aspect. So for during fishing operation, yes, it's fishing operation. So mostly women are highlighted, highlighted in this in gleaning. So gleaning is um, um, gleaning is considered as it's a family venture. So at the same time, since it's a small scale fishing, both gender performs this activity. So as observed in Green Island, men are in charge of the larger scale fishing, which is commercial, and women are only allowed for inshore fishing with their children. Actually, I got this photo in Google. So this gender arrangement was also true in the study of Ahmed Rahman and showed Harry 1999 that women are commonly seen in gleaning and small scale fishing for family subsistence. So gleaning activities of the study location serve as family bonding or a family venture. Um, Next is for post fishing activities. So the post-fishing activities, the following specific for male-dominated Green Island, sorting of fishes, removing the fishes from the net, selling and splitting and cleaning of fish. The icing and packing are female-dominated in Green Island. So the result of this study are coherent to the study of Ahmed Rahman and Shobhari, 1999, that the tribal women in Bangladesh involving in fishing activities were primarily performing and involving carrying fish from boat to land, sorting, icing, and packing, and loading the transport vehicle. This women participation in post-fishing activities also evident in Green Island. Like in some communities in Southeast Asia, women are involved in post-harvest processes such as gutting, cleaning, salting, or drying seafoods caught by themselves or other family members, such as either their husbands and children. So fish processing, including drying and fermentation, is mainly performed by women in most communities. So, however, it is notable in Green Island that significant equal participation of women with equal participation of men with women in drying and fermentation of cod fish. It can be argued that the participation of men in fish processing is also seasonal when the weather condition is not favorable because as you can see here, men are part of the drying and fermentation. Basically, it can be argued like what I've said, it can be argued because it's just seasonal. Um, when bad weather, when there's a bad weather, they cannot go uh, to to the offshore. So they can stay at home and they do this with the male. But basically, women do this drying and fermentation in the island. So in terms of access and control over the benefits and resources, so the last part of this study assessed the existing gender differences in access control over resources and benefits. The resources were divided into the following categories: equipment, labor, cash, education, training. So men are engaged more in, since men are engaged more in on-site work for fishing and seaweeds farming, so they have the most control for equipment. But men and women have access to labor, but men have greater control over women. The the above results of these results could be based on the concept of fisheries and seaweeds farming in the masculine industry in a male-dominated society. So, okay. So in terms of cash, women have greater access. So in terms of cash, it's very subjective. So yeah, women are in charge of budgeting, record keeping, which explains why women have greater access over cash. This will justify the common views on women within the domestic domain that women are mostly tasked to do the household chores, all the groceries, taking care of the families, so taking care of the children or sick family. It is an indication that women really do much more than their fair share of the household work and money. So it's really needed. Okay. Lastly, women have greater access and control over training. So since Green Island is a remote island, training for the residents may have been conducted in the local, which made it acceptable. Also, since men have dominated the labor force for actual fishing and seaweed farming activities, women might have might have more time to be involved in training. So in terms of access and control um, over resources, women seem to be doing the most involving roles in financial recording or budgeting because men are expected to be breadwinners and women roles is a homemaker. So men are likely to have much higher income because of the social expectation as a breadwinner. More women are mostly highlighted with the domestic spheres only as a homemaker. According to the World Health Organization 2009, women are viewed as subordinate to men in many societies. They have a lower social status, allowing men to control over and greater decision-making power than women. It is also because men are seen to have high authority in decision-making and exercise power in the family. So women are seen also secondary to the father to exercise power to decide and show authority in the family. So this is the contrary to this study result in Green Island that where there were no gender differences in access and control over partnerships. As you can see, over ownership, political power, prestige, and decision making, um, they're almost equal. Actually, they're almost equal. So it's good thing in the Green Island. So okay, so another thing, the results here that I'm presenting to you. So women seen as independent. There are what is this? There are articles says that women seen as interdependent. So it is also indication of eliminating the negative assumptions among women, as mentioned in the Institute of Physics study that women are irrational and emotional. So it implies significant changes, in how traditional views women's capacity in parenting and a voice within domestic spheres. It can be claimed women are nowadays changing the traditional concept dramatically in terms of power and control over the decision making, ownership, and prestige of their respective families. Men are perceived as the strongest, leader competitive with the power authority. Men, on the other hand, are believed to be tougher, more able to handle the crisis, more emotionally stable, more decisive, and more conservative. But here in Green Island, you can see that there is a difference. There is a dramatic change in terms of access and control over benefits and resources. So I think I'm okay. This is my conclusions. So fishing and seaweed farming are both thriving industries for coastal villagers, such as the residents of Green Island. These studies show the extent to which women and men are involved in seaweed farming and fishing activities based on the data analysis results. Women and men share equal roles in the different activities related to seaweed farming. Although women capacity to participate during the pre-planting activities is still not yet fully recognized, they're still perceived as a secondary um, to men, despite their significant contribution to farming, so to seaweeds farming rather. And then on the other hand, fishing activities are dominated by men, although male-dominated women's role in fishing is still important because women and men have different knowledge, skills, interests, and perspective in fishing and seaweeds farming. The prevailing traditional context on gender roles and biases limits women participation and contribution in the fisheries industry, wherein the vital role played by women in the industry is continuously disvalued and blur among the fisher folks. In general, the role of women encompasses both social and economic activities, which are crucial. This study results recognize the participation of both genders in every aspect of fishing and seaweeds farming. So I just listed two recommendations for this presentation sake. So we need to conduct, actually we're planning to conduct an in-depth research for this related to gender in fishery industry, because this research is just for the purpose of we have a baseline data about the gender participation in this aspect in the fishery industry. So number two, we need to conduct possible trainings and seminars related to women's rights, gender and development, relevant skills training for both men and women to equip and enhance their capacity and skills in fishing and seaweeds farming. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinyon.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I will start.
Yes, Pinyon. So it was very interesting and thought-provoking presentation. I think you have given very interesting presentation, and it was based on the research activities you had done in Green Island. So we can come for the discussion at the end. I think we can go for the next one, isn't it, Habibur?
Yeah, last presenter, so for Jamal Ali Ahmed, right?
So he is around. This next
Jamal.
one is Jamal Ali Ahmed. He is senior lecturer in Department of Social Development, Jigawa State Polytechnic from Nigeria. So I request Jamal Ali Ahmed, sir, please make your presentation. He is going to present on gender discrimination and women participation in politics and governance. So I request, sir, please go ahead with your presentation.
Honorable Session Chair, just a second. I'm sorry for interruption.
Yes.
So Jamal Ali Ahmed will complete his presentation by next 8 minutes, and after that, kindly call Caroline. She is our session discussant, just for 2 or 3 minutes. Then 2 or 3 minutes, guest of honor for the session, Dr. Antonina Daskina, and you will conclude the session just by 5. We have another session sharp at 5:30. So you might get 5 minutes extra. So 5, that would be the last time. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Jamal sir, please go ahead.
Mr. Jamal Ali, please unmute. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please continue.
Hello?
Yes, please continue.
All right. Can you see now?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you are audible and visible. Please continue.
All right, thank you. The title of this paper is Gender Discrimination and Women in Politics and Governance. And in my introduction, I decided to explain that, sorry, please. Okay, yeah. There were numerous proletariat societies where the position of women is relatively high, but there has never been any proof of a matriarchy, a society where women as a group actually and consistently rule. Men's work is nearly always valued above women's work. The woman's role
Operator, can you hear me? There is no sound.
Yes, we can hear you. Maybe he has dropped out because of poor network connection.
We cannot hear.
Okay, okay.
So most probably there is poor connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor connection. Ashokda, he dropped due to network.
Then instead of wasting time, whether we'll inform him and you can go for the next activity that you have planned.
Right. So better to invite Caroline to have a few words for this overall.
Yes, Jamal
I
Ali
think,
Ahmed
yes.
is back here.
Yes.
He is back. He is back.
Sorry, I am having a technical problem.
He may continue with this presentation if you
Yes,
permit.
yes.
All right.
If you can continue, please continue.
All right. Okay. Yes. So which is
Mr. Jamal Ali, please be brief because network is very poor.
Yes, exactly. I will be very brief. I will discuss on the main important points.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So I will go straight to the main point. The other part of my paper is the definition of the key concepts. I will skip to that and go directly to gender discrimination in the modern society. Across all societies and traditions, the position of women has been largely seen in relationship to the roles as mothers, housewives, and caretakers of the household. Nevertheless, women have occupied subordinate position vis-a-vis their male counterparts. Discrimination exists in many professional and non-professional jobs. It prevents the women from being dominant. For instance, an airline pilot rather than steward, or a chef rather than a waitress. Another reason for the high unemployment of women is the segregation of jobs. Women are much more likely to be unemployed than men. Employers and government leaders who are males have power to discriminate, and they assume that males are good, qualified workers, while women are not. Why the average wage of women is much lower than that of men? And why are they in the low wage areas? This is because they are discriminated against and that their own sexist conditioning tells them that these low-wage areas are the proper places for them to be. Why do employers segregate women in these particular areas? This is because employers are forced by low profits to economize, and they scramble to hire women rather than men in order that they can make higher profits. There are also challenges that are faced by women in politics and governance. Some of these challenges include their participation that has been limited by the assumption that women's proper sphere is the private sphere, whereas the public domain is one of the political authority and contention. By relegating women to the private sphere, their ability to enter the political arena is curtailed. Gender inequality within family, division of labor within household, subjugate women and serve to limit their representation in public life. Women also tend to hold lesser valued cabinet ministries or similar positions. These are described as soft industries and include health, education, and welfare. Rarely do women hold executive decision-making authority in more powerful domains or those that are associated with traditional notions of masculinity, such as finance and the military. Women's private lives seem to be focused on more than their political careers. For instance, fashion choices are often picked apart by the media, and in this, women rarely win. Either they show too much skin or too little. They either look too feminine or too masculine. Women participation in politics and governance. Women are left behind in all political activities, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. This is due to the fact that men dominated women in all space of life. Only a few numbers of women were appointed into some key positions in government. Equitable participation of women in politics and governance is essential in building and sustaining democracy. Democracy cannot truly deliver for all of its citizens if women remain underrepresented in the political arena. The democratic governments for democratic governments to deliver to their constituents, women must be truly representative, and that women must be equal partners in the process of democratic development. Women have a profound positive democratic impact on communities, legislations, and the lives of citizens. They must therefore be trained, encouraged, and empowered to become strong politicians, community leaders, and activists. Women participation in politics is low throughout the world. Their participation in politics is the concept of mirror representation aimed to achieve gender parity in public office. Women's participation in politics is of such importance that the United Nations has identified gender equality in representation, that is mirror representation. Female candidates are exposed to several barriers that may impact their desire to run for elective office. These barriers, which hinder mirror representation, include sex, stereotyping, political socialization, lack of preparation for political activity, balancing work and family. There are also policies that are needed to increase women's participation in politics and governance, such that the United Nations has identified 6 avenues by which female participation in politics and governance may be strengthened. These avenues include equalization of educational opportunities, quota for female participation in governing bodies, legislative reform to increase focus on issues concerning women and children, financing gender response budgets to equally take into account the needs of men and women, increasing the presence of sex disaggregated statistics in national research and data, and lastly, furthering the presence and agency of grassroots women's empowerment movement. In conclusion, all feminists agree that women at present have lower status than men, that women are discriminated against socially, economically, and politically, and that this state of affairs is unjust and must be changed. All radical feminists agree, however, that the oppression of women is the first and most basic case of domination by one group over another, and therefore all sex role typing must be abolished. The liberal feminist or moderate feminist or women's rights feminists believe that all people are created equal and that there should be equal opportunity for all, and therefore a mass movement of women is needed to bring about change. For many women, the thought of going into politics is simply inconceivable. For those who try, the barriers to success are great. There has been a growing understanding of the place of gender and development. This is because not only where women seem to participate and contribute to the development of their society, but that it is more and more recognized that women can actually contribute more if the gender biases are actually reduced or done away with. In conclusion, women should be given the opportunity to contribute towards the development of our societies. They face numerous challenges in achieving representation in governance. They tend to hold lesser valued cabinet ministries or similar positions. Equitable participation of women in politics and governance is essential to building and sustaining democracy. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Jamal Ali.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And at the end, if we have some time, then we can have question answer session. Now we'll request Habibur, please go ahead for the next program that you have already designed.
Thank you, Honorable Session Chair. I would just request Caroline for her for a just 1 minute remark for this, because we have another pre-scheduled session on 5:30 sharp, and speakers will join from different corners. Caroline, please.
Yeah, oh, look, thank you very much for asking me. A very brief remark is it's an extraordinary range of topics that's been covered. And I just want to acknowledge the amount of burden that social workers take on ourselves and the awareness, the incredible awareness of these difficult issues and problems and that we take on as part of our work, to consider solutions and to find ways forward. The work I do is training and capacity building in third wave behavioral science. And from our perspective, the self-compassion and the awareness, bringing our own well-being and self-care is crucial. So I just want to really encourage everyone to be uplifted and to think about self-care and that building that community of sustainability, I think, is a really crucial thing. Have I got time to share an image very briefly?
Thank you. And hope to see you again at just at 5:30. So, Honorable Session Chair, would like to request Dr. Antonina Deskina just for a little sharing, because she is our tomorrow closing guest, special guest Antonina, but we are very honored to have her here today with us as listeners. So Dr. Antonina, please. She is president of Russian Union of Social Worker and Pedagogists. Antonina, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Very honored.
Hello, everybody. I just really will be 30 seconds. I know Habibur is very strict man, but he is so efficient to bring people today from Bangladesh, Russia, Ukraine, Australia, Nigeria, Philippines. It's unbelievable. It's a great achievement. And I think as a president of Russian Association of Social Workers, I only want to congratulate all speakers. Each presentation was extremely interesting, and we looked at slams, at fishing, women fish, dealing with fishing, with the inequality, so with elderly people. So just a fantastic workshop today, and I'm very lucky to be present. And I hope you can see a little bit of Russian snow, and we can play snowballs a little bit. And thank you very much, Habibur, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Antonina. Caroline, I just do beg your apology. Did you want to share anything, Caroline?
I have a very beautiful image, if it's possible, if there's time.
Okay, okay. How long does it take? Just
an image to put on the screen, if
all
that's
right.
possible.
All right, please share.
Photos. So I wanted to, does that come up there? I want to acknowledge the wisdom that's here in this country, in Australia, coming from Indigenous social workers and psychologists. And so this is an image of the social and emotional well-being framework. Yeah, so I just wanted to leave you with that because it really reaffirms the importance of community. So thank you.
That's great. You will send this us and I will share. So for if someone,
yeah, I'll send it to you.
That would be great. So from my side, special thanks to Honorable Session Chair and Chief Discussant, guest speaker Caroline and Dr. Antonina, and wonderful presentation they presented. Mr. Salman, my friend Victoria, Dr. Maria, Jamal Ali Ahmed, and Ardi. Actually, because of shortcoming and constraint of time, and due to some technical problem, it's really very tough to extend this because people are waiting to attend 5:30 session. So I would request just Sessions here to conclude from his side, having few words.
Habibur, thank you very much. I'll take just 1 minute to complete the session. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for organizing this very large gathering and participants and presenters from different countries. So you have done a wonderful job and I congratulate you for grand success. Let me tell you that in this session, I was very late because of some personal problem, so I could not join. But whatever presentations I have heard, all the presentations were research-based and participants from different countries, presenters from different countries, they all have been benefited, especially those research papers have been presented here are thought-provoking and useful for the social workers. So I thank all the presenters and all the participants, all the guests assembled here. So thank you very much, Habibur. Because of shortage of time, we cannot continue. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashokda, for joining us, and hope to see you tomorrow closing session. Obviously, all of you, and definitely not missing our today's and tomorrow. So many sessions are there. You all are invited, and closing session that would be really remarkable session, hopefully. Okay. And of course, hundreds of people will join tomorrow evening, just at 8 sharp p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you. Hope to see you again.
So much. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.